Krishna devotees, welcome to Shloka Day. Today Shloka number 56 of chapter 18. Sarva karmanyapi sada Kurvano madvyapashrayah matprasadatavapnoti Shashvatam padamavyayam. Word for word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sarva, all, karmani, activities, api, although, sada, always, kurvanaha, performing, mad vyapashrayah, under my protection, prasadat, by my mercy, avapnoti, one achieves, shashvatam, the eternal, padam, abode, avyayam, imperishable. Translation: though engaged in all kinds of activities, my pure devotee, under my protection, reaches the eternal and imperishable abode by my grace. So this begins the final section of the Bhagavad Gita. Just to let you know, these sections generally, the numbering may vary in terms of the verses. So there may, if you listen to other preachers, they may break up the sections slightly differently. So we need not worry about how the sections are broken up, but largely we need to understand what is the journey that Krishna is taking us through with each chapter. So since this is the last section, we'll just quickly review what has Krishna talked about so far. In the first 12 shlokas, Krishna has talked about Karma Yoga. Then from shlokas 13 to 17, Krishna has discussed the jnana of a Karma Yogi, which includes the 5 factors of action. Then from shlokas 18 to 40, the jnana of a Karma Yogi. Here Krishna primarily talks about the 3 modes, Sattvagun, Rajagun and Tamogun, how it controls everything or rather influences everything that we do. So knowledge under the influence of the 3 gunas, karma under the influence of the 3 gunas, karta under the influence of the 3 gunas, buddhi, which is the intelligence under the influence of the 3 gunas, dhriti, determination influenced by the 3 gunas, sukha, happiness or the fruits of your activities influenced by the 3 gunas. Then from shlokas 41 to 48, Karma Yoga, which is offered to Krishna. From 49 to 55, Jnana Yoga with Bhakti, offered to Krishna. And now the final section, which is Bhakti Yoga, pure Bhakti Yoga. Okay, so this is from shlokas 56 all the way to the conclusion of the chapter, which is shloka number 78. So essentially the Lord is saying he protects his pure devotees. Prabhupada writes the word Mad Vyapashrayah means under the protection of the Supreme Lord. To be free from material contamination, a pure devotee acts under the direction of the Supreme Lord or his representative, the spiritual master. There is no time limitation for a pure devotee. He is always 24 hours a day, 100% engaged in activities under the direction of the Supreme Lord. So what distinguishes a practicing devotee versus a pure devotee? A pure devotee is 24 hours, 100% engaged in Krishna conscious activities. To a devotee who is thus engaged in Krishna consciousness, the Lord is very, very kind. I don't think we need any more encouragement if we are thinking about, how do I dedicate my life to Krishna? So here's the answer. Here is the benefit. To a devotee who's thus engaged in Krishna consciousness, the Lord is very, very kind. In spite of all difficulties, he is eventually placed in the transcendental abode of Krishna Loka. So, which means Prabhupada is not saying if you dedicate your life to Krishna, everything will be just super perfect. Everything will go fine. No, you will still have the challenges. But in spite of all of those challenges, Krishna is compelled to give you entrance into Krishna Loka. He is guaranteed entrance there. There is no doubt about it. In that supreme abode, there is no change. Everything is eternal, imperishable, and full of knowledge. So in this very short purport, Prabhupada has clearly explained the distinction between a devotee who's dedicated their life for the service of Krishna and those who are practicing sadhakas. From another parampara, in the previous verse, Shri Krishna explained that through bhakti, the devotees enter into full awareness of him. Equipped with it, they see everything in its connection with God. They see their body, mind, and intellect as the energies of God. They see their material possessions as the property of God. They see all living beings as parts and parcels of God. So this actually nicely describes what is the mood of a pure devotee. And they see themselves as his tiny servants. In that divine consciousness, they do not give up work. Rather, they renounce the pride of being the doers and enjoyers of work. They see all work as devotional service to the Supreme, and they depend upon him for its performance. So complete dependency on the Lord means not getting agitated when things don't go your way or you think things are not going your way. You have to understand that everything is the arrangement of the Lord for you. Everything. Then upon leaving their body, they go to the divine abode of God. Just as the material realm is made from the material energy, the divine realm is made from the spiritual energy. Hence, it is free from the defects of material nature and is perfect in every way. It is Satchidananda, that is, full of eternality, knowledge, and bliss. Regarding his divine realm, Shri Krishna has said in verse 15.6, neither the sun nor the moon nor fire can illumine that supreme abode of mine. Having gone there, one does not return to this material world again. The various forms of God have their own personal abodes in the spiritual realm, where they engage in eternal loving pastimes with their devotees. Those who perfect their selfless loving service toward him go to the abode of their worshipped form of God. Thus the devotees of Lord Krishna go to Golok, those of Lord Vishnu go to Vaikunt, the devotees of Lord Ram go to Saket, the worshippers of Lord Shiva go to Shivalok, those of Mother Durga go to Devi Lok, etc. The devotees who reach these divine abodes, having attained him, participate in his divine pastimes that are imbued with the perfection of the spiritual energy. So we'll read a couple of commentaries by His Grace Chaitanya Charan Prabhu. Love is the emotion that underlies all our emotions. When fulfilled, love can take us to the highest peaks of ecstasy. When frustrated, it can take us to the lowest valleys of agony. Just as love covers the entire gamut of human emotions, the path of love, Bhakti Yoga, encompasses the entire gamut of human conditions. The Bhagavad Gita in 54 Sloka indicates how Parabhakti, spiritual devotion, lies at the summit of all spiritual realization, above the peak reached through the path of analytical contemplation, Jnana Yoga. After thus revealing how love reigns supreme in the spiritual arena, The Gita in Sloka 56 indicates how that love extends down to whatever trenches we may be presently situated in. The supreme power of love can redeem us, whatever be our present worldly vocation. Sarva karmanyapi sada. If we take shelter of Krishna, he, by his mercy, embraces and lifts us to the supreme destination, his personal and eternal abode. So all the child has to do is to cry out, and the mother comes and picks the child up. So similarly, if we cry out to Krishna every day sincerely, then the Lord is compelled to come and pick us up. We don't have to do anything else. This is actually causeless mercy. Then why are other paths needed? Because different people have different material inclinations. Nonetheless, beneath all such peripheral inclinations, all of us have a common core that longs for love. As long as we identify with our periphery, we gravitate towards other paths customized to those material inclinations, paths that offer limited and gradual spiritual progress. But when we identify with our core, we gravitate to the path of Bhakti Yoga that speaks to our longing for love. By Bhakti Yoga, we learn to redirect our love from various worldly things that attract us to Krishna, who is the source of all those attractive things. This redirection opens our heart to Krishna's loving grace. And that omnipotent grace, bypassing all gradual paths, lifts us rapidly all the way to the world of love. Krishna is forever inviting all of us to avail of his grace. Are we listening? Question is, do you want Krishna's grace in your life? Of course, the answer is yes. But then, what are you doing to invoke his grace? So, Bhakti Yoga is not exclusive, but it is comprehensive. A spiritual path is exclusive when it claims sole rights over access to the absolute truth. That is, claims to be the only way to God. Many of the world's major religions are exclusivist, thereby fostering intolerance. When the mood comes that this is the only way, that means anybody else practicing any other path, you become intolerant of their practice because you think they are not worthy, they are not following the Lord's only single instruction. So different religions do propagate that this is the best way and this is the only way. Not just the best way, this is the only way that the Lord has ordained. If you read the Bhagavad Gita, you can see that the Lord has ordained different ways in which you can reach Him. A spiritual path is comprehensive when it caters to all people at all levels. That is, offers a one-stop self-transformational package that works for people from all backgrounds. Spirituality centered on a comprehensive path becomes a science, for it is universally repeatable. So what makes something a science? Anyone can practice any one of these paths and still reach Krishna. Of course, the Lord has said the easiest way to get to him is through Bhakti Yoga. So love is not exclusive only to the Sanatana Dharma. All the other religions also propagate love for God. But the mistake they make is they say, this is our way is the only way. So the path of Bhakti Yoga is not exclusive. The Bhagavad Gita conclusively endorses Bhakti Yoga, but also acknowledges the validity and potency of other paths such as Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. Its penultimate section outlines the trajectory through which a seeker progresses from Karma Yoga through Jnana Yoga to Bhakti Yoga. And the next verse, 18.56, indicates how we may be engaged in all kinds of work, sarva karmanyapi sada, still we can take shelter of Krishna and by his mercy attain the supreme eternal destination. In the Vedic culture of Varnashrama, people's work or vocation correlates with their psychophysical nature and their moral evolution. So here, moral evolution, you can translate it to your the level of your consciousness. So the phrase engaged in all kinds of work implies that we can be at any level and still avail of Bhakti Yoga. Therefore, this verse conveys how Bhakti Yoga is comprehensive. Its reach goes down to the lowest level to pick up even the most unevolved people and extends up to the highest level, for it elevates practitioners to the supreme destination. This comprehensive but not exclusive hallmark of Bhakti Yoga is evident in the Gita's conclusion. It acknowledges the validity of other paths by referring to them as dharmas, paths for moral and spiritual growth, yet urges us to give up all such dharmas for the supreme dharma of bhakti. That will come when we read Sloka 66. Thus, Bhakti Yoga never becomes intolerant, yet remains supremely potent. So it's a very nice way of understanding that the Lord does not exclude you from his grasp. He reaches down lower and lower and lower. If you're not ready to do Bhakti Yoga, which the Lord himself considers to be the highest path, nevertheless, the Lord reaches way down to even touch your life. Even if you're a karma kandi, the Lord is there. He's involved in your life in some way, shape, or form, maybe directly or maybe indirectly. So the Lord does not exclude anybody from his love. The only question remaining is reciprocation. If there is reciprocation, then that becomes Bhakti Yoga, in the sense that you offer everything to the Lord and the Lord offers himself to you. You offer yourself to the Lord offers himself to you. This is the beauty of Bhakti Yoga, to be completely absorbed in serving the Lord, serving his pure devotees, and serving all the other elevated souls who are just guiding you to go back to Krishna. So therefore, here Krishna says, yes, my pure devotees are also engaged in all kinds of activities, but they are under my protection. And because they are under the Lord's protection, Krishna says they will come back to me, to come back to that place which is eternal and imperishable. And by whose grace? By the Lord's grace. That means the Lord himself lifts up his devotees. He picks the devotee up and puts them in Vaikuntha or Golok Vrindavan or wherever it is that you desire to be. This is the essence of this particular shloka. It's a summary of, you could say, the whole concept of what is Bhakti Yoga and how the grace of the Lord is invoked.
If you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel and turn on the bell notification. If you'd like to join our classes every day, please check the details in the description section of this video. We look forward to serving you.